Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining with us again.
We always love doing this. And Mom, how's your day going thus far?
Brandon, I am having a great day. We just had a nice lunch together, so I'm feeling great. How are you doing?
All is well here. I'm very excited for us to head into today's discussion.
Yes, we're talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. one more time, but this is the season finale of season 1, episode 22, and this is titled Beginning of the End.
Yes, and this beginning of the end came out on May 13th of 2014.
Yes, it did. And just to give a brief synopsis, as I said, this is the first season comes to a conclusion, and so we've had a lot of exciting things going on, and so we're actually bringing some closure to these things. I guess at the end, and this is spoiler alert, just so you know, in the middle in this particular episode, Garrett evaporates, Ward goes to jail, Fury returns, and Coulson is the head of Shield. And that's what the end result ended up being at the end of this episode.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Mom, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Brandon.
And first and foremost, how did you like this episode?
You know what, Brandon? I really like this episode. First of all, I was up for the whole episode, and then, but I really liked it. I thought they did a nice job of wrapping up loose ends. I mean, we still have a couple storylines that are dangling, but I mean, it's nothing that can't wait till the upcoming season. But I thought they did a nice job of kind of bringing everything together.
Yeah, it definitely did. I know for me, in a rewatch, I really, enjoyed this episode. I've always liked this episode, especially the involvement of director, or should I say now former director, Nick Fury.
Yep, I really enjoyed seeing him. I was surprised. I was not expecting Fury to be there. I think I made a comment, not online, but to you, that there was no one else who Coulson could actually go to. He had already spoken to everyone up above, and they either were saying that S.H.I.E.L.D., after they helped him, they were either saying that S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer there, or they kind of died. So anyway, so we were kind of down to the bitter end of who could actually give some help to Coulson. And so I was happy to see that Fury returned.
Yeah, and not only that, he returned to help Simmons out of the ocean.
Yes, he did. He did. I mean, so it was twofold. He helped there, and then he helped Coulson at the end.
Yeah, and I definitely want to speak to those scenes. They're definitely the humorous part of it a little bit later. But we do get a resolution to Fitz and Simmons being dropped to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, we do. They're able to put something together that puts pressure on the window, so they're able to actually leave whatever kind of shell that they were in, and they only had one type of breathing device that Fitz said that he wanted Simmons to use, and so she managed to hold on to Fitz while they got to the top of the ocean, and then from there we never saw them using that breathing device, or at least I didn't see it. Did you see them using the breathing device?
I think it was very brief.
Okay, well I missed that completely, but we did see them get to the top of the ocean, and then we saw the Fury was there to kind of rescue them.
Yeah, and who knew he was out there looking for shield trackers?
Yeah, who knew that?
Yes, and as I mentioned a few episodes ago, these episodes line up with the movie Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So Nick Fury is in the same outfit he was in at the end of that movie.
That was clever.
Yeah, definitely was, and it wasn't just a cameo on his part either.
No, actually, what I mentioned to you off camera was that I like that they actually gave him a significant time to be on camera, and so what I liked was that Fury actually had significant lines to say. So it wasn't just Fury came and rescued Fist and Simmons and then disappeared. I like that they let him have closure with Coulson. He gave Coulson the directive. He actually watched some of the fight scenes, and I love the clever banter that they had between Coulson and Fury. That was done very nicely. So I thought they did a nice job of incorporating Fury within the about 10-15 minutes that he was on air.
Yeah, and I mean, I truly felt that it was very in a Nick Fury style that he was going to show up, just like he does in the movie. Always come when you expect it, and then disappears in the plain sight when you don't need him.
Yeah, very true, very true. But what I liked about Fury also was that he actually kind of helped Coulson to know the direction that Shield needed to go in, and he provided him the opportunity to be the director.
Yes, and so completely off the books, Shield still no longer exists, but there will be a Shield and headed by Director Coulson.
Yep, and he even told them where they're going to be, so they actually have a home now.
Yes, the playground.
Yeah, I should say they have a home that's on land.
Yes, and we have a special visit. Well, we have a returning special visitor and a new special visitor at the playground.
All right, we've got Billy. Billy is now, I think it's Billy Koenig, but he is now the person who will be, I guess, the site based operator, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, he is at the playground and he greeted Colson when he arrived.
Yeah, not to confuse Billy Koenig with Eric.
Yeah, not to be confused with them, and no explanation was given about Billy. So, or the fact that he looked like Eric, but it didn't matter. It was just kind of funny to watch.
Yeah, and but we did remember that Eric months ago said, or episodes ago, I should say, mentioned that he does have a brother he plays Call of Duty with.
Yep, he did say he had a brother. Yeah.
But yes, but another one of Nick Fury's secret bases that, as we found out a few episodes ago from Maria Hill, is that no one has any intention of ever telling the government about where these bases are.
Yeah, they're just underground somewhere.
But yeah, and so it's kind of nice to see another secret base, and we do get to find out that John Garrett's whole reasoning for Hydra is potentially because he misheard Nick Fury's speech.
Yes, which is interesting. I'll let y'all watch the episode for that. But yes, a misquote might be part of the reason why Garrett was actually turned against Shield.
But yeah, definitely quite interesting, and we got some resolution for Mike Peterson, Deathlock.
Yeah, we did get some resolution from him. We were able to see his son again, and which was nice. And we were able to see him get a different direction other than from the clairvoyant, which kind of helped him at the end, and which actually helped put an end to Garrett. And then something else that kind of came out in this episode, I don't think it was in the previous one we talked about, was that Garrett is actually part of the same I don't want to say monster cycle, but whatever superhero type of cycle, that meaning that part of his stomach or intestines or something over there has the same type of innards as the those who are the superheroes that they're trying to kind of build up.
Yeah, we definitely do find out that Agent Garrett is, I guess, part cyborg.
Okay, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
But yeah, and we do see that that at the end he does somehow get survive Mike Peterson and start building all new robot parts for himself.
Yeah, he did. He did do that. That's why I mentioned that Garrett vaporizes him because Coulson comes back later and kind of takes care of him.
Yeah, no question, no blinks, doesn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah, he just takes care of him.
Yeah, and we do find out about how exactly the cybertech company manages to sort of, I guess, be a face for Hydra and how they got so many people operating.
Yeah, we do find out a little bit about that too. So I'm sure that'll come up in future seasons.
Yeah, but they said it was all because of the incentives program.
Yes, and which I didn't quite catch until the end, in which case they're keeping some of their relatives hostage.
Yeah, they definitely are, which I suppose is a pretty big incentive.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But yeah, I think even for the guy in charge of cybertech, I think they even had that his, I believe, wife was being held too.
Yeah, they did. They didn't quite explain how they figured that out, but or maybe I blinked and missed it. But yeah, they did figure out that these other people are being held hostage there.
But yeah, I don't know how they figured it out, but I suppose one of the ways they were able to do it. I mean, Hydra does have all of the Shield records, so I mean, I guess they have records on everyone.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, and then I guess continuing on, Fitz is alive.
Yeah, Fist is alive. As we mentioned in the last episode, they both kind of went to the bottom of the ocean, and they both were, as I mentioned in this episode, they were rescued by Fury. Simmons didn't have any issues at all, but they said that Fitz had some injuries because he was underwater a little longer than Simmons was, and so. But at the end, they said that he'll be fine. Well, that he'll be fine.
But yeah, but we don't see him after the time he saved. But before, yeah, they even got rescued. He did actually finally tell Simmons what he thinks about her.
Yeah, he did, and they did. I don't know what'll become of that, but they did have that conversation. He may not even remember the conversation later.
But yeah, and we do finally get a reunion between Ward and May.
That was wonderful. We do have a reunion between them, and Coulson and Sky both told Ward that there was someone who wanted to have a word with him.
Yeah, a weapon that will absolutely destroy him.
Yes, yes. So that was not that I want to watch a fight, but that was an interesting fight to watch.
But yeah, but she kept a little bit to herself.
Yeah, she did. She did.
But yeah, so what are your thoughts about Agent Ward at this point? I mean, we've seen 22 episodes of him going from the good guy that apparently was always the bad guy, and now what?
Well, I guess I was happy to see. I mean, not that I want to. I was happy to see they put some resolution to it and they explained why he was. The only thing they haven't explained is who in his family actually caused him to be like this, if you believe it's cyclical. So maybe that'll come out in future episodes. And then the question is, will Ward be in future episodes itself? And I kind of think he will be because he was included as a main character for the show. And he has such psychological problems at this point that I think that they might there's another storyline in there for him. Now, whether or not he's actually engaged with Shield or not is one thing, but I think they might come back. It might come back up. In just my opinion, that his brother might come up looking for him. Maybe someone will explain who actually did this to him, meaning that who at a young age to make him so bad per se to want to hurt his family.
Yeah, and John Garrett certainly didn't help the equation.
No, John Garrett did not help, but it looks like, and you could tell that Ward is looking for a father figure because he immediately went to John Garrett, and I think at some point he really enjoyed Coulson. So I think it's that father figure he's looking for, and they emphasized that several times when Coulson at the end, Coulson made a comment to him and said, who are you going to listen to now? So I think Ward is just confused. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with his character per se later. I don't think he'll be a main character by any means, but I think that his character itself, because they kept him alive, will come back. Just my opinion.
Well, definitely, like I said, some interesting thoughts right there. And yeah, Colson definitely gave him the question, who are you without him? And even Ward, I think, was skeptical of Garrett by the end.
Yeah, Ward was very skeptical of Garrett, but at the same time, he looked at Garrett and said, "What do I do next?" He doesn't know what to do unless someone is telling him what to do.
And Sky wants Garrett to order him to walk into traffic.
Yes, she does. She does.
But yeah, I definitely think the humor of this episode, I think, was really spot on with all the action.
It was, and I thought it was very appropriate because this could have been a very gory episode at the end, and instead they used humor to kind of finish it out.
Yeah, and what about Agent Trip in this episode?
I've always liked Agent Trip. Like I said before, Trip is Ward for personality wise, and so I was happy to see the see Trip in here in the episode, and he refers to his grandfather, of course, a lot in his bag of tricks, and so I'm sure that will there'll be some episode. in regards to him and his past. It just was not, there was not enough time to tackle that.
But yeah, so definitely quite a bit happened within a very short span of this episode. Mom, is there anything else you wanted to discuss? Because I know, again, we watched episode one last year, and we watched the next 21 over the course of and recording this summer, spread throughout the rest of this 2025. But I mean, overall, what was your thoughts about the season? Is the show what you expected at all?
It's not what I expected. I, of course, avoided it for years. I know you and your brother really like watching it, but I just kind of avoided it. I'm glad you gave me the chance to watch it, and you watched it with me, and your brother watched some of it with me also. And so I thought they did a nice job. You could tell that it was well thought out, and that they planted the seeds for several of these episodes in the first few episodes of the season, and that they were able to bring it all together. Not many shows are able to bring everything together, and especially to wrap it up in a nice little bow. The only thing that's hanging out there, and I think it was okay that they didn't solve it this season, was Sky and her parents. The only thing they kind of have hanging out there is Sky and her parents. Actually, there are three things. There were three things that were kind of left unsolved. And so the first one being we have Sky and her parents, but I think it was okay that they didn't solve it. I think they did enough to know that there's a history behind everything that's going on. So they did enough there to, if the show was actually canceled, that it was okay that it was not solved. The second thing that they didn't do was they left Raina out there. And I think we talked about this, and I don't know if we did it on camera or off camera, but I kind of mentioned that there would be someone left over. And in this case, it's Raina. And so, and actually, for all the characters, I'm kind of happy to see that she is the one that's left over. But then we also have Ian out there. Now, Ian, I'm not sure if I'm happy that he's still out there, but Ian's out there too. And so we'll have to, of course, bring closure to him at some point, I guess. So those are the storylines that I think are just kind of there. And but you need something to start season two with, and these are three storylines that they can continue with, and then kind of carry over if they need to for future years.
Yeah, and I will say there was one scene for the end of episode Stinger with Colson writing,
With Colson, what?
doing
Oh,
that weird writing.
yes, we did see that, and I guess for me that's not a hangover, and I only say that because that was just kind of new. Seeing him do that. The other three things were kind of went on the whole season, and so now, like you said, with Colson writing out whatever formula he was writing out, that's something to begin the next season with. So they've got enough to start the season, and actually enough to storyline there to take it through, if you ask me.
Yeah, and that same writing Colson was doing is the same stuff that Garrett was doing at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, it was. So I don't know what kind of subliminal messages that they do have.
But yeah, Mom, is there anything else that you want to discuss? I mean, like I said, I know our goal is to, I said, to watch this first season. So do you have any sort of leftover thoughts or any hopes or predictions for the rest of the series? And would you even want to see any more of the series at this point?
You know, Brandon, I think I mentioned to you that I do actually want to watch at least the first episode of the second season, and so whether or not we do that online or no, I don't know. But I do want to watch the. Will you? Yes, I will. But I do want to watch the first episode because I want to see how Trip kind of fits in now that he will be, in my thought, a regular on there. Whether or not they have if their show. Ward or not. I don't know if they'll do that. So I would like to see how it actually begins. Um, and so I just thought it was very satisfying. It's very few times that I could say a last episode of a season is very satisfying. This one was satisfying. Just knowing that they did wrap up all those loose ends, and then at the same time they have led enough to start with the next season. But yet, if you don't see that next season, you're still okay.
Yeah, and I know, like you were saying, like I said, you had avoided this show for so long. I know that you've seen different, yeah, bits and pieces, clips here and there, over the years. But for your first time ever actually seeing the season, do you think it was worth it for you to watch it?
It was worth it for me to watch it. Once you get past those first 3 or 4 episodes, it was actually worth it to watch it, to see everything kind of come together.
And do you think it fits right in there with the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
It does, and actually it fits into me with those other Marvel shows that are out there. I know we've seen quite a few of them. Some I've liked, some I haven't, but the same formula's there, and I like the for the shows that I did like that I watched that were in the Marvel universe. I like that those hints were there and that it all came together, even though it was just maybe 10 episodes later. It all came together for an ending.
But yeah, I'm glad that we were able to to do this together. And Mom, thank you so much for joining us on this journey. I think this was just so fun being able to watch. As I can definitely see in these past 5 or 6 episodes that you've really been getting into it and wanting to watch one after the other after the other.
Yes, I have. I have. All right. We thank everybody for watching. We hope that you'll take the same journey we did with the, if you have not seen Shield, and we will see you next time.
Have a great day.
All right. Bye bye, everybody.